Greetings everybody and welcome back to the Awesome Lindsay channel. So today's video is put together from a 4-day shoot I did recently, and I wanted to just show you the lighting, the styling, kind of all the setup, and just sort of how this photo shoot went. So I hope you enjoy. Okay, for this shot we're doing some Dapple. As you can see, this is our live view. We have a Profoto with a D1 up here, and this has a projection grid in it, or projection spot on it. It has just a kind of leafy type gobo, and that is creating our main Dapple light here. As you can see, this is the only modeling light that's on. And then right next to that light, we have another D1 with a 4.5 by 5-ish inch softbox on it. And that is giving some nice fill light on the side. And then the right side, we have another D2 with a 5 to 6 inch umbrella, and it's got the sock on it. That's giving some fill light. We also have another reflector over here just to provide some fill light on the top. Our camera is up here. We have a 5D Mark IV with a 50 millimeter. It's just a tilt shift lens. It's not tilting or shifting. It's just 50 millimeter. And then we have Brooke doing our styling.
Hi everyone.
Do you have like a vibe for this? For how you're putting things down, or how you?
That's a good question.
Like, how do you know where to put stuff?
Well, we like to offset things. So if you put, for instance, the red vegetable soup on the top right, then we want red vegetable soup or something red to balance it out on the bottom left. And then we do a little bit of circle shape, a little bit of organic shape, and some squares to kind of bring it all together with some variety.
And she's basically, we're looking through live view, but I'll just hold the camera up overhead. But you can kind of just see as you set one thing down, you kind of try and put the shapes either complementary, nothing's touching too weird, like in a weird tangent, or like lines intersecting in a weird way. You kind of just space things out really well. Looks pleasing, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then just kind of small tweaks. You can see she's putting leaves down in there. It's really just artistic at this point. There's no like scientific way to do it here. You just kind of put things down. Whatever you think looks good, you leave it. If it looks bad, you move it. And that's kind of how you get like a really cool artistic image. Okay, here is where we've landed with the Dapple stuff. We moved the light to camera right and set it a little bit lower, so there's kind of more of a raking light. And that looked better. We had some product that was more like on this side of the table, and it was better getting the bulk of the light hitting this and then raking across than falling into shadow. So we moved it to camera right, and then we turned up, this one's still sitting here, the light on camera right, and then this one's still sitting here. We just kind of adjusted the power. I can't remember what they were from what they are, but we have them bright enough that they still show some of the Dapple, but they kind of fill in both the sides so that the Dapple isn't the strongest light. It kind of brightens everything all up. Wait, so explain the greens again.
Okay, so when we add the greens on top of the white crinkle, it makes the white crinkle extra obvious. And then the contrast between the two, so either you need to completely use greens to cover up the white crinkle, or you need to focus on the white crinkle.
Okay, so when I'm looking at this image here,
yeah,
you're trying to cover up the crinkle with all this like rosemary and
right,
greens.
Because our client contact doesn't like the crinkle showing. So either we need to have only the crinkle showing because it kind of fades, or we need to cover up all of the crinkle with the greens.
Okay. Makes sense, everyone? Right now we're doing top-down overhead, so you can see the camera up top. We're just doing these like images where you just see the box and all the things that you get in the box just kind of displaying out. This light setup is a Profoto D2 up clear up high for a sun, like a hard shadow. Right next to it, another D2 that has a 4.5 by 5.5 foot softbox for fill light on the sun side. That's basically our sunlight. We have another D2 with a large umbrella on camera left for fill light from the opposite side, and then this other reflector in front. Okay, we had a little fire in the thingy, a little smoke, but right now we're working on this thing, live view. So we have a grid here, if you can see, just kind of aligning things, centering things. Not super accurate to it, but...
All right. I'm feeling like that's pretty close to complete.
So, and then we get a live view going. We'll get it to where we like it, style it out to where we like it, and then we'll take it off live view and take a couple shots. We've kind of been switching back and forth between live view and camera view or photos, because sometimes it's nice to just see what you're doing and not take a zillion photos. Sometimes it's nice to just see how it will look in the light. Here is the other thing we're liking about Lightroom is we can throw in overlays. Hopefully you can see down here, but down in the bottom left you can throw in an overlay. This is an image we shot a few months ago, and we were earlier, not this image now, but we were trying to mimic kind of the same thing with a different bowl of soup. And so Capture One allows you to do an overlay and like kind of move it around if you want. You can scale it up or down, and then you can try and get a current shot to look like a past shot. It's really nice. So what are you doing styling on this? Like, how do you know where to put things on this particular one?
So when we start with these boxes, we always start with the main anchoring product, which is the soup. And those are the largest products that need the most focus, so they kind of go in the center. And then we start to work outwards by size. So the rolls and cookies go next, and then we start to fill in the spaces to create kind of cohesion and balance.
And then same thing with the sprigs and branches and things. You just kind of throw those in whatever you think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we visually kind of follow that rule of balance. So you'll see there's some sprigs here and then a little bit less here, but then we always balance them kind of in a diagonal. And it's a little bit of the Fibonacci spiral. It feels good in your body. You can feel it when it's right.
That's awesome. It's looking amazing. So Robin, you're the creative director. You want to be in our video? What are you looking for in this image particularly?
This is for a limited time offer seasonal summer package. So it needs to feel fresh and summertime vibes with our lemons and our styling being very light and airy to pull into our little lemon cookies and just giving you that fresh vibe for the season.
So then she'll take pictures, send them to the client, make sure the client likes what we're doing, nothing's looking out of place, and everything's looking like what they want. Also, something I should show you is look at all the propage. So Brooke over here in the tan is our stylist, Robin in the stripes is our creative director. So these two will have meetings beforehand and decide what kind of look and feel it is, and then they'll shop for different props. So on a shoot, this is actually less props than we've had in the past. Usually we have a couple tables, it's just full, maybe a shelf over there. So yeah, they'll shop for like plates, silverware, pictures, cups, saucers, bowls, linens, all sorts of stuff, so that we have tons of stuff to kind of just put in and play around with. They might be shopping for something and love it, and then we put it in the image, it just looks bad or doesn't shoot well. So having lots of different props and items to throw in images is super handy. The other thing we have a bunch of is these backdrops. They're like a vinyl backdrop. These are probably 4 feet by 6 feet. This thing's like a wood slat, Below our shooting surface, we have like a marble, we have another wooden looking thing. So our stylists and creative directors shop for these and pick out ones they like for backgrounds and for shooting surfaces. See, and these are little design touches that having a stylist is really good for, is just she'll throw in, like, what have you got in these soups? You got like rosemary and all this stuff?
Yeah, there's rosemary and thyme and a little bit of paprika to bring out the reds in the tomato soup, and pepper. So we just throw lots of little things in there to give it some visual intrigue.
And you have like a white swirl kind of thing going on, right?
Mm-hmm. That's a little bit of heavy whipping cream because it just breaks up the color, so it's not just like a hunk of red in the shot. It makes you want to look at the bowl a little bit, draws your eyes to it.
See, and if you have a good stylist, these are the things you get in your image. So for this package, there's a certain amount of cookies and rolls. We have 6 cookies, 6 rolls. All these come with a ladle here. So when we shoot these, we got to make sure we have everything that comes in the package in the image. Okay, we're moving on to some fun stuff right now. This is what we're calling styled stills, and this is where we kind of just, we're playing around with Dappled light. Also, you might hear in the background, our stylist kid's birthday is today. But, so we're moving on to some styled stills, and we have basically Dappled light. I don't know if you can see it on camera with the lights that are on. So we have this gobo that's creating this kind of like leafy type texture onto the background. We're doing overheads on this one. A few days ago we did a Dapple light with like 3/4. So here's our light setup. Up here we have a Profoto D2, and this has a spot projector on it, and then I have the gobo in there, which has this gobo that's creating this Dapple light. This is very similar to what we've been doing this whole week. Then we have another D2 over here with a 4.5 by 3.5 foot softbox double diffused, and then we have another D2 with a large umbrella, the sock on it, and then we have the reflector here. This could all actually move around. I'm just going to kind of show you what we're working with. A lot of the stuff will stay similar, but I'll show you as I move it around how things look. But these are going to be fun. We've been waiting all day to do stuff like this. I'll show you kind of what it's looking like from yesterday. This is kind of some of the shots you see from yesterday. You can see right here, there's just like little shadows from what would look like leaves, but the gobo is causing that. And they're looking really nice. So, Brooke, what's the vibe behind this one?
This is summer spread for a slow Sunday at your house. Just you and the lemons.
So this one we have some nice dappled light, kind of leafy looking feel from our spot projector. And then again, we have 2 side lights, adding a little bit of extra fill. Okay, so what happened here is the power went out, so now we're moving things outside to kind of try and test the tree shadow to give us some of that dapple look that we're already getting inside. We tried dapple outside in the trees, and now we're moving indoors. Okay, we're gonna try both ways. We're gonna try and do one shot indoors here where we're setting up, and then possibly if there's time, go back outside and do shots in the dapple. All right, so the power came back on, so we're now moving back inside, and we're gonna scrap this whole outdoor sunlight dapple idea.